Hey guys, so for my final project presentation for this class, I decided to interview my aunt. My aunt, first she went to college for philosophy and decided that she didn't feel like doing it anymore, so she got herself enrolled in Johnson and Wales. She graduated top of her class and immediately got a job working in a hotel as the executive chef. She then got tired of having that job, so she took it among herself to open up her own cafe and catering business. Her cafe stayed open for about 2 years, and then she ended up closing that portion due to lack of business. It wasn't because her business wasn't good, but it was in an area where not a lot of people, like, it wasn't very popular, the location, so she ended up having to close it. But she kept her catering business, which ended up doing really, really well. So for my first question, I asked, what is the biggest challenge of being both the manager and the head chef? The biggest challenge of being both head chef and manager is finding time to focus on one job without being distracted by the other. It's very easy to find yourself currying from one crisis to another and getting nothing actually solved for the long term. My second question is, in your opinion, what is the best way to handle conflict in the restaurant? She then answered, minimize work-related conflicts by communicating clearly and thoroughly the information each person needs to do their job properly. Standardize procedures so everyone is on the same page. Pay attention so you can spot trouble before it gets to the point of blowing up. If you're dealing with personality conflicts, try to minimize interaction between the people. Change their schedules, assign them tasks in different areas or different projects. But you don't have time to be a babysitter or listen to grievances all day. Meet with the people together, then separately after or before service. Listen to their beefs, but make it clear that the behavior is not acceptable. Never correct or scold one person in front of the other. My third question is, how important is ethical decision making? It's critical to everything you do. If you behave unethically, the people you interact with will feel free to treat you the same way. What do you look for when hiring? Good character and work ethic, cheerfulness, and lack of drama. What is the best way to communicate to your employees? Everyone's different. Some people absorb information best through words, some through seeing something done, some through doing it. So while you need to have staff meetings and materials that give everyone the same information and ensure consistency, you also have to follow up to make sure everyone understands. Motivation tends to sometimes be an issue. How do you help yourself or others that struggle with motivation in the restaurant? Negative attitudes are toxic and extremely contagious. Obviously, positivity has to start at the top with good cheer and energy. As a manager, you don't have to be giddy with glee 24/7, but your enthusiasm for the enterprise should never be in doubt. Some employees just want to be given clear direction, do what they're told, and get paid on time. But others, especially in creative fields such as culinary, need chances to think, problem solve, and invent. So you need to let them brainstorm menu ideas, have them take turns coming up with daily specials, reward them for coming up with better ways to do things. And when you're off the clock, make a point every now and then to do some fun things together. Blow off some steam and build a closer team. Keeping yourself from burning out may be harder. Delegate some things so you're not so overwhelmed, and bring new energy to those tasks. You may not be able to take days off now, but set a goal for getting to where you can. Meditate, exercise, eat right, and get some sleep. How do you train new employees? Have them show other employees that I know are good teachers. Challenge them to show off what they've learned by teaching me how to do it. Give them opportunities to ask questions. Side note, I really liked her response to this question because instead of just saying, "Oh, I like mentoring," which is one strategy, she kind of took all the strategies that we learned in the text and combined them together, which I think instead of just focusing on one method, it could be really helpful to use all of them, especially because you never know who you're going to be dealing with. My 8th question is, how do you act as a leader? First, by example, show up early with a good attitude. Work as hard or harder than everyone else. Do whatever needs to be done and never make excuses. Treat everyone with respect. Make your own expectations clear and hold your employees accountable for meeting them. When you've made a decision, don't waffle. If you have to rethink a decision, also don't waffle. Do you find it a challenge to work with other people? It depends on the person. There are managers who can bring the best out of everyone, get along with people they despise, and communicate effectively with everyone. That is not me, so it's always a struggle. And my last question is budgeting one of the main challenges you face with your job? Yes. Next to personnel management, it's the most difficult thing. Money informs everything you do in the business. It never takes a day off, never cuts you some slack when you're having a bad day. Food service generally has margins so thin that there's no room to wing it. So you have to do all the tedious work you learn about in school. Know the cost of every ingredient and recipe. Calculate the revenue you need to get from every seat in the restaurant. Monitor the trash to cut down on waste and schedule your staff to get the most work done in the fewest hours. So those are the questions that I asked her. I chose her to interview because when she had her cafe open, I actually worked for her those 2 years. I believe I was 13 years old, so it wasn't paid, but it was a really, really good experience. I really have been able to take everything that I've learned from her and applied it to school. So yeah, that's who I interviewed. Thank you so much for watching. I can't wait to see everyone else's videos, and best of luck to everyone in this class, and congratulations guys, we made it through a quarter.